Welcome, dear students, to the session on TCP over Ad hoc wireless network. The agenda of this session is to have a brief revisit to traditional TCP. TCP is a transmission control protocol. TCP transport more than 90% of traffic on the internet. It is a reliable end-to-end congestion control mechanism, byte stream transport mechanism. It's elegant and simple in design. These properties make TCP not only popular for the internet but also influencing the protocol in designing of many other protocols and applications. TCP in its traditional form was designed for only wired network. In this session, we will discuss some issues and challenges that TCP experience when used in ad hoc wireless network and some existing solutions like feedback based TCP, TCP bus, ATCP, and etc. Before that, we are going to revisit the traditional TCP for our better understanding. TCP is a reliable end-to-end connection-oriented transmission layer protocol that provides a byte stream based services. The major responsibility of TCP includes conjunction control, flow control, in-order delivery of packets, and reliable transmission transmission of packets. Some keywords that we are going to use frequently in this presentation is TCP transmission control protocol, MSS maximum segment size, ACK is acknowledgement, RTO is retransmission timeout, RTT is round trip time, and one keyword we are going to use is conjunction window is a TCP state variable that limits the amount of data the TCP can send into the network before receiving an acknowledgement. Conjunction control deals with excess traffic in the network, which may lead to degradation in the performance of network. Flow control controls the pre-flow traffic such as receiver capacity is not exceeded. TCP regulates the number of packets sent to the network by expanding and shrinking the conjunction window. Techniques used by TCP for reliable transmission are: 1. Connection oriented mechanism, which ensures the presence of receiver before transmission begins. Another, sequencing and acknowledgement, in that to take care of out of order and duplicate packets in the transmission. Third is flow control to handle the slow receiver problem. Retransmission to take care of lost or erroneous packets in the network. Conjunction control to take care of conjunction in the network. Here, for better understanding purpose, we are going to see a diagrammatic view of how retransmission occurs in the TCP. Here, three different scenarios we are going to deal with. In diagram A, packet lost or erroneous or duplicated at receiver. In this scenario, you can see that there is a timeout period for the transmission. This timeout period is there used for identifying when to retransmit a packet. For example, let us see an example. Sender created a packet which want to send to the receiver, and the packet is going to be transmitted from sender towards the receiver. But due to some reason, the packet is not successfully reached at the receiver, and somewhere middle in the network it vanishes. So it is not a successful delivery of a packet towards the receiver. Before timeout period, acknowledgement is not come back to the receiver. So in that timeout period, as acknowledgement is not received from the receiver to the sender, in the next timeout period again sender sends the same packet to the receiver. Now receiver receives the packet successfully. On receiving of this data packet successfully, receiver generates an acknowledgement. That acknowledgement is given back to the sender within the timeout period, so that the sender come to know the data packet transmitted by him is received properly by the receiver. This is the one scenario. In the second scenario, you can say that the packet transmitted by the sender towards the receiver is successfully received, but acknowledgement generated by the receiver is not successfully reached towards the sender. So sender don't know about packet is received or not, as successful acknowledgement is not there. So again, after a timeout period, sender again initiate the same data packet transmission towards the receiver, and another acknowledgement is going to be received successfully by the sender. Here you can say the acknowledgement is lost. Here you can say the packet is lost. In the third scenario, the timeout period is less as compared to the previous two timeout periods. So what happen when sender sends a packet towards the receiver? Receiver gets successful data transmission packet and generates the acknowledgement. But as the timeout period is small as compared to the previous two, acknowledgement is not reached within the first timeout towards the sender. So sender believes that the packet is not received by the receiver successfully. So in the next time period, again sender creates the same packet and transmit it to the receiver. Meanwhile, the acknowledgement of the previous receiver is reached to the sender. So in that case, you can say that early timeout or duplicate packets. Early timeout for the duplicate packets. So these are the some retransmission scenarios that need to be understand before we move towards the working of a TCP. This is the frequently used diagram we require to understand better about the TCP and its conjunction window. So retransmission mechanism is something is lost or you are not get back. Here we are not getting back the acknowledgement. So the lack of acknowledgement is a retransmission mechanism. Lack of acknowledgement causes for the retransmission. Lack of acknowledgement triggers a timer which cause time to time out, and once that happen you will retransmit the packet again. This is a basic retransmission mechanism which is represented in the diagram. So how long should sender wait for the acknowledgement? This is the basic question arises. Sender sets a timeout to wait for the acknowledgement. If that time is too short, it's a wasted retransmission, or if that is a too long, it's an excessive delays when packet lost. So TCP set up a timeout as a function of round trip time, which is a RTT. It's a round trip time. How to get this round trip time for the retransmission? It takes a weighted average of different samples with respect to the segments and acknowledgement pair. Means samples of different scenarios where the data is transmitted and the acknowledgement is come back. By taking these pair-wise different samples, the RTT is going to be calculated, which is establishment round trip time. In this diagram, again we are going to revisit this diagram. Let us understand how TCP works. TCP sender starts a session with congestion window with a value of 1 ms. 1 MSS is maximum segment size. It send out 1 MSS and wait for acknowledgement. Once the acknowledgement is received within a retransmission timeout period, the conjunction window is doubled and two MSS are originated. This doubling of conjunction window with every successful acknowledgement of all the segments in the current conjunction window is called as slow start and is continue until the conjunction window reaches the slow start threshold. In this scenario, sender uses two variables. One is conjunction window with initial value of one maximum segment size and slow start threshold value with initial value equal to receiver's window. The conjunction window increases exponentially during the conjunction control and linearly in conjunction avoidance. In this diagram, you can say that variation of conjunction window in the TCP. Slow start phase is between point A and point P. This represents a slow start phase. Once it reaches the slow start threshold, it grows linearly, adding 1 MSS to the conjunction window on every successful acknowledgement. So you can see here you can say that from A to B the growth, and from B to C is a linear increase, and here the exponential increase. So let us move forward. This linear growth which continues until the conjunction window reaches to the receiver window. It is up to the receiver's buffer size, that is called as conjunction avoidance. H2 tries to avoid increase in the conjunction window. Sender if acknowledgement packet does not arrive within the RTO period, then it assumes that the packet is lost. TCP assumes that packet loss is due to the conjunction in the network, and it invokes the conjunction control mechanism. TCP sender does the following during the conjunction control. It reduces the slow start threshold to half the current conjunction window or 2 MSS, whichever is larger. Reset the conjunction window size to 1 MSS. Activate the slow start algorithm and reset the RTO with an exponential backup value which doubles the every subsequent retransmission. The slow start process further doubles the conjunction window with every successful acknowledgement window upon receiving the low start threshold. It ensures into the conjunction avoidance phase. TCP sender also assumes a packet loss if receiver 3 continuous or consecutive duplicate acknowledgements. Upon reception of the 3 duplicate packets, the TCP sender retransmit the oldest acknowledgement segment. This is called as fast retransmission scheme. When TCP receives the receiver out of order packets, it generates duplicates to indicate the TCP sender about sequence number of last in order segment received successfully. Among the several extensions of TCP, some of the extensions are TCP Tahoe and another is TCP Reno. The diagram we have seen is for the TCP Tahoe. Also, TCP Reno is present in the diagram. So this is the basic revisit to the traditional TCP. Thank you.